The Arctic ice is melting. Polar bear numbers are plummeting. Scientists estimate only 26,000 remain in the wild. These magnificent creatures are staring extinction in the face. Their plight is a stark warning to us all. Climate change is real. It's happening now. And it's having a devastating impact on our planet's most vulnerable creatures. We must act now before it's too late. The Arctic is a harsh and unforgiving environment. Temperatures plummet to unimaginable lows. Yet, life finds a way. Polar bears have adapted to thrive in this frozen wasteland. They are perfectly designed for survival. Thick fur and a layer of blubber keep them warm. Powerful limbs propel them through icy waters. Their keen sense of smell helps them locate seals, their primary food source. But their home is changing. The very ice they depend on is disappearing at an alarming rate. Sea ice is the very foundation of the polar bear's existence. It is not just a frozen expanse, it is a lifeline, a critical element that supports their entire way of life. The ice provides a unique environment that is essential for their survival. They use it as a platform to hunt. Polar bears rely on the sea ice to access their primary prey, seals. The ice allows them to stealthily approach and capture these marine mammals, which are crucial for their diet. Without the ice, their hunting grounds diminish, making it increasingly difficult to find food. They travel across vast distances on its frozen surface. The ice acts as a highway, enabling polar bears to roam and explore their expansive territory. This mobility is vital for finding food, mates, and suitable denning sites. The vast, interconnected ice floes are their pathways to survival. They raise their young on the ice. The sea ice provides a safe haven for mothers to give birth and nurture their cubs. It offers protection from predators and harsh weather conditions. The ice is a nursery where the next generation of polar bears learns to hunt and survive in the Arctic wilderness. But this vital habitat is melting away. The once stable ice is now retreating at an alarming rate, threatening the very existence of polar bears. As the ice diminishes, so does their ability to hunt, travel, and raise their young. The loss of sea ice is a direct threat to their survival. Global temperatures are rising at an unprecedented rate. Human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation are releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. This rapid increase in temperature is having a profound impact on the Arctic region. The Arctic is warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet. This phenomenon, known as Arctic amplification, is driven by the loss of reflective ice surfaces, which are replaced by darker ocean water that absorbs more heat. The accelerated warming is causing dramatic changes in the Arctic environment. As temperatures rise, the ice melts earlier in the spring and freezes later in the fall. This shift in the seasonal cycle reduces the overall duration of the ice cover, leaving polar bears with less time to hunt and build up the fat reserves they need to survive the ice-free periods. The ice is also thinner and less stable. Thinner ice is more prone to breaking up, creating dangerous conditions for polar bears. It also means that the ice is less capable of supporting the weight of the bears, making it more challenging for them to navigate their environment. The fragility of the ice further exacerbates the challenges they face in an already harsh and changing world. The loss of sea ice has dire consequences for polar bears. As the Arctic warms, the ice that these majestic creatures depend on is disappearing at an alarming rate. This loss of habitat is not just a minor inconvenience, it is a life-threatening crisis for the polar bear population. Their hunting grounds are shrinking. Polar bears rely on sea ice as a platform from which to hunt seals, their primary food source. With the ice melting earlier in the season and forming later, the window of opportunity for hunting is becoming narrower each year. This means that polar bears have less time to build up the fat reserves they need to survive the long Arctic winters. They are forced to swim longer distances to find food. As the ice retreats, polar bears must swim greater distances between ice floes, which are becoming fewer and farther between. This not only makes hunting more difficult, but also puts the bears at risk of drowning, especially young cubs who are not strong swimmers. This expends precious energy and makes them vulnerable to exhaustion and drowning. The physical toll of these long swims is immense. Polar bears can swim for days at a time, but the effort required to do so depletes their energy reserves, leaving them weak and more susceptible to the harsh conditions of the Arctic Ocean. The melting ice also impacts their ability to find mates and raise cubs. Polar bears are solitary animals, coming together only to mate. The fragmentation of their habitat makes it more difficult for them to find each other, which can lead to a decline in reproduction rates. Additionally, the unstable ice conditions pose a significant threat to the survival of cubs, who rely on their mothers for protection and nourishment. Female polar bears give birth in snow dens on land or on the ice. These dens are essential for the survival of newborn cubs, providing a warm and safe environment during the harsh winter months. The dens are typically built in areas with thick, stable ice or deep snowdrifts, which are becoming increasingly rare. These dens provide crucial protection from the elements. Inside the den, the temperature remains relatively stable, shielding the cubs from the extreme cold and wind outside. The mother bear stays with her cubs for several months, nursing them and keeping them warm until they are strong enough to venture out into the world. As the ice thins and breaks up, suitable denning sites are becoming increasingly scarce. The loss of these critical habitats means that fewer cubs are surviving to adulthood, further threatening the future of the polar bear population. Conservation efforts are urgently needed to address the impacts of climate change and protect these iconic animals from extinction. Polar bears are powerful predators, but their survival depends on a delicate balance. They rely heavily on seals for sustenance. Seals are rich in fat, providing the bears with the energy they need to survive the harsh Arctic winters. But with shrinking ice, their access to seals is diminishing. Polar bears are finding it increasingly difficult to hunt their prey. This has led to a decline in their body condition. Bears are becoming thinner and weaker. They are more susceptible to disease and starvation. Section 6. A mother's desperation. Imagine a mother polar bear and her two cubs. They are stranded on a shrinking ice floe. The ice, once a vast and stable platform, is now breaking apart, leaving them isolated and vulnerable. The open water stretches out before them, a vast and unforgiving expanse. The mother is desperate. She scans the horizon, searching for any sign of solid ground, but all she sees is endless water. She hasn't eaten in days. Her once powerful frame is now gaunt and weakened. Every movement is a struggle, but she cannot afford to rest. Her cubs are weak and hungry. Their cries pierce the cold air, a constant reminder of her urgent need to find food. They cling to her, seeking warmth and reassurance. She knows they must reach land soon, but the nearest shore is miles away. The distance seems insurmountable, yet she has no choice but to try. The journey is fraught with danger. The ice is thin and treacherous, threatening to give way beneath their weight. Each step must be carefully calculated. She must summon all of her strength and courage to protect her young. Her determination is unwavering, driven by the instinct to ensure her cubs' survival. This is the harsh reality for many polar bears today. Climate change is rapidly altering their habitat, making it increasingly difficult for them to find food and safe places to rest. Their fight for survival is a daily struggle against the odds. Every day is a battle to find enough food, to stay warm, and to protect their young from the many dangers they face. The mother bear teaches her cubs essential survival skills. She shows them how to swim in the icy waters, how to navigate the shifting ice, and how to hunt for seals. There are brief moments of calm, when the family can rest and regain their strength. These moments are precious, providing a temporary respite from their constant struggle. The bond between the mother and her cubs is strong. She comforts them, nuzzles them, and reassures them with her presence. Her love and dedication are evident in every action. But the Arctic is unforgiving. Storms can arise suddenly, bringing fierce winds and blinding snow. The mother bear must shield her cubs from the elements, using her body to protect them. They find temporary shelter in the lee of an ice ridge, huddling together for warmth. The mother bear remains vigilant, always on the lookout for threats. Occasionally, they encounter other wildlife. Sometimes these encounters are peaceful, but other times they must defend their territory and resources. Despite the challenges, the mother bear never loses hope. She leads her cubs towards the distant land, driven by the promise of safety and sustenance. Finally, after days of arduous travel, they reach the shore. The land offers a brief sanctuary, a place where they can rest and regain their strength. For now, they have found a refuge, but the future remains uncertain. The mother bear knows that their survival depends on the changing climate and the availability of food. The plight of the polar bears is a stark reminder of the impact of climate change. It is a call to action for all of us to protect their fragile habitat and ensure their survival for generations to come. Section 7. On thin ice. The plight of polar bears is a poignant reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world. Their fate is inextricably linked to our own. The melting Arctic ice is a visible consequence of our actions. Greenhouse gas emissions from human activities are warming our planet. If we do not act now to reduce our emissions, we will continue to witness the devastating consequences of climate change. Section 8. Our call to action. The future of polar bears hangs in the balance, but there is still hope. We can all make a difference. We must reduce our carbon footprint, support organizations working to protect polar bears and their habitat, educate ourselves and others about the urgency of climate change. Together, we can create a future where polar bears can thrive once more. Section 9. Learn more. To learn more about polar bears and the threats they face, visit website address or QR code. Your support can help make a difference.